When the college kid from next door intertwined his fingers with mine in that charged stillness, I realized I had stepped into forbidden territory. This had become something much deeper. It was a rush, a perilous dance with fate. Welcome back to Hidden Love Stories. What unfolds when a simple tutoring session spirals into something profound, tangled, and perhaps, is this a mistake? Follow Mia's journey as she unexpectedly awakens to life once more. Subscribe and turn on notifications. This story will challenge everything you believed about love and loneliness. On that quiet Sunday afternoon, light seeped through the curtains, and the world outside paused, suspended in a fragile silence. I had just watered the stubborn plants on the windowsill, the few that survived my years of neglect. The house was silent, the refrigerator's hum a solitary echo against the creaking floorboards underfoot. As I settled into my cherished reading chair, its familiar contours embracing me, a sudden knock pierced the silence, a soft, trembling knock, shattering the stillness. I was blindsided, expecting nothing more than a neighbor or a package needing my signature. When I flung the door wide, there he was, Alex, my neighbor's son. He stood there, a worn hoodie and jeans clinging to him, fidgeting, a notebook clutched tightly under his arm. He returned from college for the summer, yet our encounters were few and fleeting. He stood there, quiet and respectful, eyes downcast, whispering, "Ma'am, despite your disapproval." "Hello, Mrs. Parker," he whispered, his timid brown eyes locking onto mine. A smile shattered the silence. "Mia, you've reached the milestone of 20. Release her." A spark of joy ignited in his eyes, and he nodded, barely. "Got it, Mia. I need your help with something." I stepped aside, inviting him in with a gesture. The scent of coffee and lavender hung in the air, a gentle whisper of comfort. "Enter, Alex. Is everything okay?" He hesitated at the door, then entered, eyes wide, as if entering a realm of reverence. "No, I can't do it." My hand hovered over the phone, heart racing, unsure if I should call her. "She's occupied," and it struck me. "You were a teacher once." I led him to the kitchen, filled a glass with iced tea, and sat down across from him at the table. He set his notebook down, fingers trembling as they tapped the cover. "I'm taking a summer writing course, diving into English composition, and I must create a personal essay about something profoundly meaningful. I'm adrift, trapped in uncertainty. I create, then wipe it clean. I hoped someone like you, with a deep past, might share your wisdom." Everything changed in an instant. I never imagined I could be a beacon of wisdom for anyone. Alone and widowed, I spent my days whispering to my plants and sharing brief moments with the checkout girl. His voice, wavering but genuine, awakened feelings in me that had been buried for ages. Vital. "Okay," I breathed, drawing nearer. "Whisper your thoughts to me." He opened the notebook, pages alive with a chaotic dance of crossed-out lines and shattered thoughts. His dad's departure lingered, a heavy shadow of inadequacy, while fear clenched his heart, stifling his true emotions. Text. Each word pierced through the silence, each breath a haunting echo. In an instant, he laid bare his heart. Our conversation veered from his class to shocking truths. He felt an aching solitude, a ghost among familiar faces, adrift in a world that had never welcomed him. His words pierced through the silence, and I found myself drawn in, captivated by their hidden weight. No longer the awkward teenager I once waved to from across the fence, but a soul slowly shedding layers, embracing the rawness of vulnerability. His voice was steady, but his hands trembled just enough as he turned the page. My hand brushed against his, a brief spark igniting between us. A caress that heals, maybe even more than that. His gaze cut deep, a storm of gratitude and confusion raging inside me. In that moment, I realized how long it had been since someone had gazed at me with such fervor, as if I were a treasure waiting to be uncovered. Beyond a neighbor, beyond an older woman skilled in pie making and remembering birthdays, still a spirit. A flicker, the room paused, a tense stillness wrapping around everyone. A single breath and everything shifts. I pulled my hand back, a smile breaking through, disrupting the silence. "You're not as lost as you think," I breathed softly. "Your truth lingers in silence." He nodded, choking back the surge of emotion. "Where do I begin?" "Begin," I urged, "right now." Raw, true, this moment? For an hour, we bared our souls, consumed by the fire of creation. I revealed my history to him, some stories shadowed, yet all painfully true. He absorbed every word, and I saw his confidence swell with each stroke of the pen. It transcended the mere task, diving into the depths of something profound. It plunged into the depths. A spark ignites. He stood to leave, and the sun dipped low, casting a warm glow across the hardwood floor. He stood at the door, his voice thick with gratitude. "Thank you, Mia. You can't fathom the depth of what this means to me." Somewhere inside, I knew this wasn't the end for us, not just for homework help, but for a bond we were yet to understand. Maybe that was all it took. In silence, everything can change forever. A gentle knock pierces the stillness. As Alex stepped back, the rain lashed down without mercy. A soft rain, mingling with the aroma of soil and echoes of the past. The cinnamon candle danced in the dim light as I folded laundry. When the knock shattered the silence again, gentle but etched in memory. This time I felt the weight of certainty pressing down on me. I opened the door. He was there, cootie pulled over his head, rain droplets clinging to his sleeves. His smile was timid, yet it concealed a universe of unexpressed emotions. "I'm sorry for not reaching out first." "It's fine," I breathed, stepping back. "Your presence is always welcome." He kicked off his shoes at the threshold, eyes darting around, desperate for any hint of transformation. His presence enveloped the air, a calm that pierced through the chaos, leaving an undeniable peace in its wake. His movements were intentional, each lingered moment heavy with meaning, his gaze sweeping the room, taking in more than mere furniture and walls. "I have something," he whispered, hands shaking as he opened his backpack. "The essay is ready for you." He shoved a tattered print into my hands, its edges frayed from endless travels. I collapsed onto the couch, the pages calling me in. It took my breath away. He seized our first exchange, the chilled tea, my undivided focus, the tales that surged between us. He described the light pouring through my kitchen window, how it could freeze time itself. The brutal honesty of his words struck me deeply. After so long, he finally felt the weight of being truly seen, profoundly seen. His eyes bore into my soul as I looked up. His face was a mask, frozen in the clash of hope and fear. "Text," I whispered. "Your voice matters," my fingers lingering on the page. "Genuine. It means everything." He exhaled, the weight lifting from his shoulders. My heart raced as I braced myself to hit send. I wondered if it had gone too far. "Personal holds immense power," I proclaimed. "It's the flame that fuels desire." He nodded, then sat beside me, the air thick with unvoiced emotions. just out of reach, but his warmth seeped through the space that separated us. The candle flickered, shadows swirling, secrets murmuring in the dark. The rain fell hard, a pulse in our stillness, thick and unyielding. His voice trembled, revealing a fragile truth beneath the surface. "Something about you makes me want to bare my soul." It resonated deeply within me. Time slips away, and in an instant, you're no longer their keeper of secrets. You become the wise neighbor, the nurturing elder, the woman who welcomes from her porch. Yet Alex never viewed me like that. He saw it all. Me? A suffocating stillness hung in the air. I touched his wrist, and in that fleeting moment, everything changed. "It's my whole world. You're finally safe." He nodded, an unvoiced pact laden with unexpressed gravity. "I trust you utterly." His gaze locked onto mine, a heartbeat that felt infinite, and I felt a shiver in the air, secure but electrifying. A quiet bond remains, heavy with unspoken truths, a line we feared to cross. Its presence loomed, powerful and unyielding, despite its lack of necessity. For the next hour, we plunged into his dad, absent for months, and how he felt like a specter in his own home. I uncovered profound secrets about my husband, Gerald. After he left us, the silence in our home grew heavy. Routines dissolve, shadows of the past linger. You wrap yourself in casual clothes, a barrier against the world's gaze. "You're one of a kind," he breathed. "I'm not," I retorted fiercely. He reclined on the couch, and I let my head drop onto the cushion, giving in to the moment. We sat close, the rain murmuring its secrets, enveloping us in a fragile moment. A stillness enveloped it, a heartbeat caught in eternity. Silence bears a heavy truth. Words are unnecessary, just being. At the door, he turned, eyes searching. "Is it odd that we share these moments?" Disbelief surged within me as I shook my head. "Unlikely, I think it's rare." His smile masked the flicker of doubt in his eyes. "Can I come back again? Maybe we could just be together, even if I don't need help." "Without a doubt," I answered. "Whenever you wish." He hesitated, a breath from confession, yet the words slipped through his grasp. He turned and left, the rain swallowing his steps, disappearing into the shadowy dusk. I stood at the door, heart pounding, wondering where this was headed. In a tumultuous world, can two hearts find deep significance in the quiet that envelops them? I couldn't grasp the answer. A fire ignited inside. This was only the start, far from it. The following days unfolded in an unexpected rhythm. Alex came by every few afternoons, sometimes with a notebook, but more often just his quiet presence, heavy with unspoken emotions. I embraced it wholeheartedly. Not at first, it enveloped me, a sharp spark of realization, like a forgotten rhythm resonating in the air, igniting a longing I never knew existed. On a Tuesday evening, as I cooked pot roast, a familiar knock shattered the silence of the kitchen. I lingered. I never needed to. As I flung the door wide, he was there, hands hidden, hair wild from the breeze, and that haunting softness in his eyes that cut straight to my core. He appeared older, a quiet confidence emanating from him, but a trace of youthful uncertainty hung in the slight droop of his shoulders. "Delicious," he whispered, stepping inside. "I never meant to shatter the quiet of dinner." "You didn't," I replied, a smile tugging at my lips. "I always go too far. Stay." "You can't go." He said nothing. We fell into our usual rhythm, me cooking, him at the counter, revealing fragments of his life, his class, his mother's struggles, the heaviness of his unknown path. I absorbed his words, offering my thoughts, aware of my limitations. Dinner stretched in quietude, a warm embrace of solace. He praised my cooking, evoking memories of his grandmother's meals. I chuckled, deflecting his compliments, knowing all too well that the roast had gone too far. After we finished, I made tea, and we collapsed onto the couch. Darkness enveloped us, the gentle murmur of crickets seeping through the cracked window. The lights flickered, the candle from long ago now just a stub, its lingering scent haunting the room. Silence enveloped us, each sip thick with unvoiced thoughts. He whispered, "I'm adrift in the darkness of my own future. They all have their demands, but I wonder if I truly want them." I confronted him. Uncertainty is acceptable. Everyone wears a mask, concealing their essence. His eyes bore into mine, intense and probing. "Your words resonate deeply every single time." I smiled gently. "Time moves on, my dear. You start to realize that many questions remain unresolved and haunting." He leaned in, our knees brushing, an electric moment. My heart pounded, not with the innocence of youth, but as a fierce reminder that I was alive, capable of deep emotion. "I've never shared this with anyone," he whispered, his voice trembling. "I often feel unseen, swallowed by the weight of others' expectations, never acknowledged for my true self." His words struck me, raw and startling. I reached out, my hand over his, raw, unfiltered, purely human. "I see you, Alex," I whispered. He lingered nearby. He remained steadfast. He breathed in, serene and deep. Then it happened, a shift both subtle and monumental. He turned his hand, fingers weaving with mine. Our eyes met, silence thick and charged. Clarity consumed me, a deep stillness wrapping around all. I could have released it. I should have, but I held on. In that moment, everything shifted. Boundaries blurred, and the weight of the world fell away. Two souls met in silence, forging a bond that altered their lives forever. He leaned in, our foreheads almost touching, a spark igniting. "Mia," he whispered, "you are my refuge, my breath." I closed my eyes, letting the moment wrap around us, warm and tender. Relief washed over me, a whisper escaping my lips. "It was all I ever wanted to give you." He stayed in the shadows as time slipped through our fingers. Silence wrapped around us, the evening's whispers fading away, leaving only the weight of our unspoken bond. When he stood to leave, his goodbye felt like a mere echo of what it used to be. His gaze was warm as he said, "See you soon." I knew he meant it. This was no fleeting moment. It carried a heavy significance. It was becoming something unexpected, a fragile secret we shared, too delicate to speak of just yet. 7 days stretched on until we met again. Not because anything had changed, but because life twists in silent circles. I lost myself in the ordinary, tending to begonias, folding linens, and meticulously arranging the spice drawer as if it were a fragile secret. But beneath it all, that last evening haunted me. His fingers intertwined with mine, the quiver in his voice as he breathed my name. The words cut deep. In those brief moments, I felt alive, vital, and truly recognized. Friday came, shadows thickening in the fading light. As I trimmed the hedge, footsteps approached the gate. I looked up to find Alex, hands hidden, uncertainty dancing on his face, but his eyes still glowed with warmth. "I wasn't sure you'd want to see me," he admitted. I wiped my hands on my apron, a smile cutting through the tension. "Absolutely. Come in." We stood on the back porch, the sun dipping low, shadows creeping like secrets over the lawn. He was different that day, quiet, adrift in his thoughts. "I've been thinking," he said, "about that night, about us." I nodded, gripping the glass tightly, water trickling down my fingers. "It's okay," I murmured, "no words necessary." "But I must," he insisted, urgency lacing his voice. "I refuse to let this be something we skirt around." He paused, eyes fixed on his shaking hands. "Your presence has revived me in unimaginable ways. Stay away from me. I am not just a lost child to be pitied." "You're not a child anymore, Alex," I whispered. He looked up, eyes wide. "You're more than a neighbor. You were my lifeline in the storm. Your presence pierces me." My heart aches deeply. I gasp. His words struck me like lightning, fierce and unrestrained. Yet as I absorbed them, fear and doubt slipped away. A calmness enveloped me. "Alex, what we have is real. But it's delicate, so complex. It's a truth that defies understanding." "I don't care what the world thinks," he said, his voice steady. "In your presence, all else disappears. Here with you, I find solace." For the first time, I feel where I belong. Silence wrapped around the moment again, but this time it was charged with something profound. It pierced through me. Grounded, I held his hand, an unspoken bond igniting between us, not in a rush, not by possession, still. A deep truth awaits, honor. Understanding. "I care for you too," I whispered. "Your growth is everything. Become who you really are." His grip tightened, thumb brushing my skin, igniting a fire between us. I reflect. It's creeping in. That night, we restrained ourselves, yet the air buzzed with tension, unneeded. We were close. The sky ignited in pink and gold, jasmine filling the air, the porch light throwing shadows that swirled around us. We exchanged thoughts on his writing, my travel stories, and the surprising, beautiful bonds life creates between us. As the moment came, he stood, heart weighed down, pausing. "I'll return," he vowed. A smile flickered to life. "I get it." He walked down the garden path, casting a gentle smile over his shoulder before disappearing into the twilight. I stayed behind, my gaze locked on the fading light, retreating beyond the trees. After so long, a spark ignited within me. What we uncovered, regardless of its label, was profoundly real, ordinary yet extraordinary, not scandalous, just deeply human. After all these years, fresh chapters can still set the heart ablaze. That connection transcends time and anticipation. It cherishes presence. In the stillness, it resonates. It's about the bravery needed to show your true self to someone else and the strength to face them. That's what Alex abandoned. No flame ignites. A flicker stirs within, hinting at uncharted emotions waiting to be embraced.